Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo. And as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Man, you guys are chomping at the bit. I see John Doe. I see Austin. I see Kyle. I see Cruisin. I see NFC. I see John. I see Boomer Sooner. I see Ricardo. I see America's team. I see Virginia's finest. Good Lord, you guys are hitting it hard and heavy like our Dallas Cowboys are at training camp. That's right. We're talking about practice. Not a game now. Not a game now. We're talking about practice. Our Dallas Cowboys are on the field. Thank everybody for being here. Let's get open for business. And good Lord, whew, the drama just never ends. We got to pull out the big bottle because the season is here for good old Joe Boo to get that refill. Oh my goodness, we've had a titter tirade going on. You know what? I'm gonna Joe Boo, I'm gonna steal some of your rum here, buddy, because I need a little bit of a little something to tide me through as well. Um, I don't know if you guys have been watching, but Dez Bryant finally let loose, and I think it's a lot of pent up frustration that he has had with the whole process and feels like he has been scapegoated. But for the most part, since he was released, Dez has been pretty quiet about the situation until Stephen Jones did this. Hold on here. Let's get this.
Well, I just think it's he's working on his game. I think he's worked on his accuracy. I think he's got to trust the system, which I think at times last year there was pressure with Dez in his ear, to some degree Jason in his ear. Those great players want balls, and I think if he can get back to what we did the year before, where we run the football consistently with Zeke and that great offensive line we have, and let him really trust the system, work through his reads, which I think he'll do, then I think not that he didn't play good last year, but I think he'll have the type of year he had the year before, if not better. And I just think if he'll step up and really trust and have the patience to work through those things, and then as he's really been good at his whole career, whether it's Mississippi State or us, is protect the football. I mean, let's don't beat ourselves.
Okay, so that's what Stephen Jones said. Now, Stephen Jones has just recently come back out and said that Sirius Radio screwed the pooch on it and basically didn't have the whole interview because he said he wasn't there to trash Dez Bryant, but they kind of took that part because he wasn't really there talking about Dez as much as he wanted to talk about Dak. Now, I'm just don't shoot the messenger. Don't say I'm trying to toe the company line. I'm telling you what he is saying right now, that it was taken out of context. And you can go ahead. This is what's good and bad about media. You can cherry pick things that people say, and if you just take that little bit, it can sound a lot worse than what it was meant when you hear everything in its entirety. Because when you hear that statement and you think, is this about Dez Bryant or is this about Dak Prescott? Because what you're saying is, great player, which is true. Great players want the ball. What he's trying to say is Dak Prescott, I have faith in Dak Prescott. I believe that if he trusts the system, we get back to what we were doing more in 2016, that Dak is a leader, he'll be able to get on track and so on. But then it was taken that he was throwing shade on Dez Bryant. Dez, whoa, man, Dez finally had enough of it. And I think the realization of I'm not going to be where I want to be. My life was the Dallas Cowboys, and now I am no longer a Dallas Cowboy. I've been sitting out here for months. I know I can play. I know I'm a good player. I know I'm a teammate. You can't argue with me being out there doing my job and stuff. Why isn't the phone ringing? Except for the Cleveland Browns. Now, here is a report. I don't know if there's any validity or not. That supposedly a second team is also interested in Dez Bryant. Don't have any clue who that is, but apparently now people are trying to make some moves, possibly. In the end, Dez has been done wrong a lot of times. I know people are going to say, oh, now you're flip-flopping on Dez. No. Dez has been done wrong quite a few times in his career. From the time Mike Ferrello said stuff like, there might be a tape of Dez Bryant. Everybody went out and condemned Dez Bryant and everything else, and they never found a tape, but I never heard an apology. You had guys going out there, Ian Rappaport saying the police were called to Dez Bryant's house 6 times, and it turned out, okay, they were nothing. They made it sound like he's a gangster out there and the police are raiding the house and stuff. So Dez has had a lot of shit thrown his way over the years, and I can understand him being frustrated. And I wish the best for him, except when he plays the Dallas Cowboys. This is where it's hard. I am a diehard Dallas Cowboy fan. The reason I am a diehard Dallas Cowboy fan is it's real simple. I grew up here in the Washington, D.C. area. I wanted to be like my father. Growing up, I sat on the couch next to him. The first memories I have growing up was just sitting on the sofa looking at my dad and seeing my dad cheering, saying, go Cowboys, go. And him living and dying every week with the Cowboys. I didn't know what football was. I mean, I'm just like a little baby. And his reasons for being a Dallas Cowboy fan living in the Washington, D.C. area was because going through segregation, going through racism and stuff, being a black man, the Redskins, even though the NFL had integrated starting in 1949, still in the 60s hadn't integrated. And he's like, how can I support a team that doesn't support black people? I'm not saying that things were better in Dallas, but they had black players on the team. So that's why he was a Dallas Cowboy fan. So now that we have the anthem protest war that is beginning, and hearing Jerry Jones and things, it's hard for me to make a comment because I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't. I mean, I literally in the same video get told you're an Uncle Tom and you're an un-American because you're not saying F the Cowboys because of their stance, and you're saying something about anthem protests, so you're un-American. And unfortunately, I can't even talk about it because immediately once you do, people are going to turn off. But understand, it doesn't really matter if it's anthem protests or if it's something else. Anytime you bring up inequality, you're considered un-American. You need to shut up and be quiet. And that's a fact. I faced racism growing up, even recently as, Michael, how long ago was that? About 7 years ago when we got pulled over by the 10 policemen? He can't hear me. At gunpoint. The only description was there were 3 black men in a pickup truck. Turned out it was a white pickup truck that they were looking for. A small pickup truck. I'm in a big F-250, okay? And so forth. There's some real problems with our country, but understand this, and I always equate this to my marriage. And there's a couple of guys on here, E2 Blue, and stuff that can understand what I'm about to say. I love my wife. I wake up every morning, I give her a snuggle up with her, give her a little kiss, rub her on the rear end and stuff, and I am happy to be beside that woman. She's my whole world. She's everything to me. I wouldn't change her for anybody. For anybody. That's my woman. However, there's a couple of things that I kind of wish I could change just a little bit to make life a little bit better. And that's what this is about. It's not saying forget all police officers. No, I got family members that are police officers. I've been helped by police officers. But there's a few out there that are bad. In the same way, you can look at doctors. You know, the doctor that was for the gymnastics coach doctor, that was a pedophile, that's a bad doctor. That guy should burn in hell. But that doesn't mean that every doctor that's out there is bad. And that's what it's about. But unfortunately, it's been turned that you're un-American. No, it's about people wanting to be able to have the opportunities in America as well. And I'm going to leave it at that. And unfortunately, that's not where it's going to be. But all I can say is we got to stop the madness because we're about to be in the same boat we were last year, but maybe even worse. And I'm seeing some of the comments here. Mark, oh geez, like I said, I'm just trying to step it down a notch. Okay, step it down a notch. Okay, let's try and let calmer heads prevail, because you may not agree with me, but try this. Try to put yourself in the opposite view's shoes. And just try and think. Because I'm not saying that they're right or I'm right or whoever. Understand what it might be on the other side of it. Because here's the thing. Maybe we can meet in the middle and come up with a solution that works for everybody. That's what it's about. It's not about saying, F you, I don't give a damn about your thing. Let's work together and find out how we can fix problems for everybody. Because together as a country, we are better. And it must be getting real bad because I got people saying, let's talk about Earl Thomas. Okay, so with that being said, we won't talk about Jerry Jones and the whole thing. But Dak Prescott, Jerry put basically his whole team under the bus. The players don't want to deal with this. They don't want to be asked questions about it. But, of course, being America's team now, Dak says, look, I'm not going to kneel. I'm not going to protest during the anthem. It's not the time and the place and stuff. However, it's good that we had these discussions because now people are talking about it. Maybe we can come up with solutions because there are a lot of people that are doing things like Demario Davis to try and make things better. Okay, so anything. Everybody's saying, let's talk football. All right, football-wise, we know that Dez might become a Cleveland doo-doo Brown. How you guys feel about that? Or do you care? It's just done with Dez. It's going to be interesting. Well, today, day number 2, the Dallas Cowboys just got off the field. It's kind of good and bad being on the East Coast because their practice is 4 o'clock, which is 7 o'clock here. So they're just getting out. So there's going to be all kinds of news and stuff breaking from practice and interviews over the next few minutes and stuff. But Sean Lee and Tyron Smith got their Veterans Day off, of course, today. The second day where they're not in pads. Tomorrow and Sunday will be the first 2 padded practices. So it'll be interesting to see who's starting where. Cameron Fleming was playing left tackle for Tyron Smith, not Chaz Green. Chaz Green, who got beat by the weather yesterday. Yeah. Chaz Jewell, thank you very much for the shoot. Any information, any inside? No, here's all I can tell you right now is Seattle is playing hardball. And here's what I can give you guys right here, right now. Seattle is playing hardball, and
He's been here for a long time, and we always expect him to be here. I mean, that's kind of how it is, So he should be here, and he's not. So it's really about the guys that are here and now, and we're going to keep moving and grooving and put it together. And it's unfortunate.
What's the impact of Earl not being here on the field in the locker room? What's the effect?
Right now we just can't really even focus on it. He's not here, and we have his support. He has our support, but we got to focus on who's here, and we got to make sure those guys get right and make sure we're doing everything we can for the guys that are here, and that's kind of where I'm at with it. I voiced my support. I understand that this is a tough business, and like I said before, it's not a business that's necessarily in favor of the players, although it will be sometime. But we got to focus on what we got right now and make sure, we hit the ground running. We kind of been in this situation before, when we didn't have Cam. And, we're going to focus on the guys that's here.
Okay, so that's where we are with the Seattle Seahawks. They feel he should be here. They've said, we're not going to negotiate a contract whether he's here in practice or not here in practice. He's under contract, and he's expected to be here. We're not paying him anymore. So we now have the whole, basically, standoff right now. And it's going to be interesting because Earl says, listen, I ain't coming in till we deal with this contract. And he's prepared to take it into the regular season. At least that's what he's saying right now. Right now, that's another $40,000 that he just lost. $40,000 yesterday, $40,000 today. So it's going to get interesting, and it's going to be a distraction. They're going to have to be answering questions about this on a daily basis. I think it's stupid for them at this point to continue and hold on to him. Get a deal done. Just get it over with. You don't want this kind of distraction on a daily basis. What's interesting is their fourth-round draft pick, Tedrick Thompson, I think it is, says that he's been actually working with Earl Thomas and knew for quite a while that Earl wasn't coming in. They watched film and stuff together in the offseason, and they've been on the phone talking and things like that. So could it be that Earl Thomas is trying to get the guy ready to take his place and say, look, Seattle, I'm helping your guy right there. Please release me. Let me go. You're not going to pay me. You don't have me in your plans for the future. Let me go someplace else and finish off my career the way I want to. Michael Anthony Fitness, we were riding home yesterday. Of course, he's the third-generation Cowboy fan here at my house. In my family. And we talk about Earl Thomas and football and everything in general. And he hit me with something that was kind of interesting, too. Cody, thank you. I don't think here's the thing, Cody. Thank you very much for the super chat. Do I think we let David Irving go and use the extra cash for a deal for Earl Thomas? I don't think letting him go because it's a one-year tender. I may be wrong on this. You're already stuck with that money. You're not going to save anything by cutting him at this point. It's too late. But as far as cash for Earl Thomas, you have the money to do it. Here's what you can do with Earl Thomas. We've got 14.5 or 14.75 in cap space. We are actually ninth, I believe, right now in cap space in the NFL. Believe it or not, we started out with 19 million. We still have 14.5. The Cowboys worked some miracles this offseason in keeping the numbers, where we've got cash. Even if you ended up giving him that $13 million, you can play with the numbers so you can actually make it so it's like a $7 or $8 million hit for this year. And they can kick some of that money towards next year. A lot of people are saying, well, you got to pay Dak and you got to pay Zeke. Well, actually, you don't have to pay them next year. You can pay them the following year. And you keep in mind that we're going to have somewhere in the upwards of 50+ million next year because the dead money's going to go. Some of these other contracts are going to come off. And then there's other guys that you can kind of let go. Some of these guys that have getting a little long in the tooth with big contracts, as you've got like a Taco. I love Tyrone Crawford, but $10 million, you kind of look at that next year and say, well, if Taco can do what Tyrone Crawford can, Taco's still on a rookie contract. It's only costing about $2.5 million. Tyrone Crawford's $10 million. You let him go and you save yourself about $9 million. So money's not an issue. The Cowboys have called Seattle. They have an offer to him. Brian Brodus believes it's a second-round pick. But Seattle, as I was saying, Michael kind of said, does Seattle really want to let him go and have him playing the third week of the season with all this ugliness for the Cowboys against them? Valid point. Well, aloha, dude. Here's the thing. Kevon Frazier, they're still running tests. They don't have any exact word. He's feeling good and feeling he's going to be back on the field and stuff. And I'm hoping that is the case. But here is the reality. What killed us last year was a lack of depth. Flat out. We got beat because we didn't have somebody to back up Sean Lee. We got beat because we had Chaz Green backing up Tyron Smith. Take a look at the playoffs. You're talking about playoffs? We haven't even finished play the scrimmage yet. Take a look at the playoffs the last two times we played against the bad man, Aaron Rodgers. But we got beat. Where? In the secondary. Do you think if we had an Earl Thomas in 2014 across the middle that we would have given up that play? Do you think that? I don't. I think we would have been okay. I think we would have been better served having somebody there in the secondary. I look at the guys we're going to be. Damn, E2.
E2 Blue.
Can you hear me, brother?
Yeah, I can hear you clear.
Okay. Welcome to the show, E2 Blue. E2 will actually understand exactly what I'm talking about when I was talking about how much
Kayvon.
we love. No, not Kayvon, but how much we love our wives. But sometimes there's some things that we wish we could get them to do just a little bit better, and relating it to America and the anthem protest. Because I know you went through it today, didn't you?
How about just listening to me when I say something?
There you go. But anyway, how are you doing tonight, man?
Despite of everything that happened, I'm all right. I'm getting through it. I'm maintaining.
Well, everybody knows today is actually Michael Anthony's Fitness's birthday. If you want to get
Happy
him,
birthday, Mike.
If you want to get him something, like his channel. That'd be a great birthday present for him.
Don't like it, follow.
Or subscribe. Subscribe. You know, I'm thinking about Facebookers or something or other. Just forgive me. But if you want to get something for E2 Blue, because his birthday is next Friday, he's going to do a big live stream. Hopefully, if they take care of everything. He had a leak at his house, and now the floor and everything is ripped off, and I got to look at it with him tomorrow. But hopefully he gets that squared away because he's going to have a throwdown next week. So happy birthday early.
Yeah, man, appreciate that. Looking forward to it. Now, if we can get everything dried up and fixed up, then the party's still on. But if not, I might have to either cancel it or postpone it.
Postpone? Hey, I tell you what, if you postpone it a week, I can bring chicken wings.
I know. I was thinking about that.
You know, that might not be the worst thing. You know, you might even be able to bring you a souvenir from Oxnard for a birthday present.
Either way, do that.
Okay. So anyway, have you been following practice?
Yeah, I have.
Okay. What have you seen or heard today that you liked? Thank you very much, Nicholas Kark. D block. Okay. You know, the D block for the defense, that's not bad, but I don't know if we want to associate criminals with our Cowboys, because that kind of, you know, some people. Well, anything sounds better than Hot Boys. But what did you see today in practice, or the last 2 days in practice, that you liked and didn't like?
Well, more of what Jerry Jones was trying to address to the team, as far as when they asked him about his comments on Jason Garrett and the coaching staff in general. He was basically saying, I like what we have with the coaching staff, but he was charging them, basically saying, I want you guys to help these young, because the team is now young. We have, 3 players over 30?
Yep.
30 or over?
Yep.
Everybody else is young.
Long snapper, kicker, and Sean Lee. Or should I say Snake Lee?
Right. Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. But yeah, so basically Jerry Jones was charging his coaches, saying that, look, I need you guys to coach up these players because they're young, they're new. Mm-hmm. And the thing about Jason Garrett, and I said this on my channel too, that I do like about Jason Garrett, I will say that his philosophy, he's able to get these players to follow what he's doing. And that's important for a team like this. You look at players like Cedric Wilson coming in here. Mm-hmm. He was out there running routes, and I guess he didn't do something as crisp as he could, and coach just went over there and was like, hey, you should probably do it like this and that. So I like to see that the coaching staff is more engaged with these younger guys, trying to get them up to speed and to get a feel of how the NFL really is. So that's one thing that I took from it.
Okay. Shout out to William Peak listening in from the UK. And it's kind of late there, too, because you're about 5 hours behind. Man, it's 2 a.m. What you doing up, man?
Are they behind us or ahead of us?
No,
I thought UK was ahead of us.
Excuse me, ahead of us. Sorry. I mean, it's 2 a.m. there, okay? They're ahead of us.
Yeah.
So
that means
it's like 2:25 a.m. and he's listening to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Appreciate it, man, but you might want to get some rest. Well, I tell you what.
Mark Sampson's a real supporter then.
Yeah.
He's always watching.
Definitely, yeah. He's always up real late. And as well as my man Cowboy Crunk, who got Earl Thomas and your frat brother in basically an Instagram thing. So speaking of your frat brother, you don't have any inside information on him, do you, Kevon?
No, I just know that I don't think that his issue is as serious as they may think it is. It actually might be something that can get through medically.
Okay, yeah, that's what I've been hearing. He was actually on the sidelines today with one of the trainers and stuff, and he was doing some interviews and things with Mike Fisher and stuff. So hopefully he'll get back on the field. But see,
I sent him a message on I DM'd him or whatever, and he was just saying, oh, thanks for the caring or whatever. He was like, I'll be all right. Like I said, I just got to trust the doctors,
Right. Okay. Well, let's definitely pray for that because we definitely need him. But to me, that was kind of like a little warning, a little foreshadowing, because we're thin. We're thin at safety. That makes, he can be through this, but every player is one play away from their season being ended. And you start thinking about right now, until he gets back, you got Xavier Woods, you got Jeff Heath, and then you got maybe Byron Jones or Jordan Lewis get moved to safety. And I'm not crazy about this flip-flopping from cornerback to safety because to me it's two major differences in the two. And
People don't understand the differences between cornerback and safety. You can't just
it's two totally different positions. Yeah,
it is. And if you've never played football, you will never understand how different that position is. When you're a safety, you have to know where you are. You have to know who you're covering, because if you're not,
but not just you. You got to know everybody. You're kind of like the general that's out there.
Yeah.
And and that's a lot different than being a cornerback that sometimes is in man-to-man coverage, or basically I'm just covering this guy, or I'm just covering this little section. That safety, he's got to be able to go anywhere, and he is the final line of defense. And that's where it's kind of like we keep flip-flopping guys from corner to safety. Corners, generally speaking, corners become safeties when they lose their speed. Instinctively, they then know what to do and where to go. But I'm not sure that we want to take Jordan Lewis, who's been playing really, really well at corner, and now make him a safety. I think we screwed up Byron Jones that way.
Yeah, I think so. But see, Byron Jones claims that he wants to be at where he is now. In his mind, he thinks as a corner, he thinks that that's his best position. Now, you look at, Brian Broaddus doesn't think so, but I look at it like this. If a player says that if they have confidence in a certain position, I'm going to believe them. Because look at Lyle Collins. I wanted Lyle Collins to stay at the left guard position, but the fact that he went out to right tackle and he bet on himself, and hey, now he's doing good there.
Yeah,
and he looked good.
Hopefully he'll be able to take
really good.
Yeah, hopefully he'll take another step up with that too. Cody, thank you very much. We got some people that are trying to help come up with a better nickname than the Hot Boys. Oh God, you don't know how much I hate that Hot Boy. I'm sorry. He thinks the Four Horsemen would be a nickname for our D-line, better than Hot Boys. John Doe flushed Jobu down the toilet because he looks like he belongs there. A lot of you guys out there say that Jobu is the reason why the Cowboys are having bad luck. Let's think about this for a second. Jobu hasn't been here since the 90s. Jobu has only been here since 2012 was the first season. And actually since 2012, the Cowboys haven't been quite that bad. We went 8-8. Then we went 12-4. We had that debacle 4-12. But then we had 13-3. And then we had 9-7, so it's only been one losing season since Joe Boo's been here. So lay off Joe Boo. Damn,
right.
Don't know why people are messing with Joe Boo. Now, I tell you what I like seeing with our offense is we're actually moving wide receivers around.
Yes.
Scott Linehan admitted that, we just kind of kept the route tree down to about 5 routes and stuff, and we just tried to focus on what people did well, and that shit didn't work.
I gotta agree with Dez when he made that comment about lining up the same and doing all that. I can't even get mad at him for saying that because he's basically telling the truth. That's basically what they were doing. That's why we were predictable. That's why we sucked. That's why the defenses knew what we were doing. And I'm like, can we do something? When you're sitting at home on the couch and you can,
we were like, we can tell you exactly what they're gonna do with this play.
Exactly. And we're sitting at home on the couch.
Right.
So
So,
so what makes you think these defensive coordinators that actually study tape and film all day, every day,
don't
you think that
know.
they can't figure that out? Come on now.
Exactly. Yeah.
You're
So,
delirious if you think that you can't.
again, that's where I go back to, a lot of people, Vosh is always forever on me and telling me that, you can't blame the coaches, the players have to play. But here's the thing. There's not that much different between players and the talent of level on teams. If you played high school football, take the top two guys on your team, and those are backups in college.
Yeah.
If you play college football, take the top one guy on your team. He might make it into the NFL. So you're talking about the cream of the crop. There is not that much. Everybody is fast. Everybody is strong. Everybody is beasting. So to have an edge, you need those coaches to give you a wrinkle, to put you in a position to win and not to make brain farts.
Like what we did in that Lions game in 2016. Like you gotta keep doing things like that. They get creative once in a damn blue moon, and it kills me. You have to keep doing that. You know that works. Why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah.
I understand that Jason Garrett is a Princeton graduate and he's a conservative guy, but there's no place for conservativeness in football. I'm sorry.
Sometimes I think he outsmarts himself.
He does. And I'm like, you can't be so stubborn that, yes, you go into a game with a game plan, but sometimes things change. If you go in there and you're getting your ass with 34-0, it's time to make a change, brother. You got to do something.
I agree. Yeah. So at least what we've been seeing is, with Dez Bryant, Dez was first, because every time I would say, why don't we try and put Dez in the slot? Just get a mismatch, get something different going on. But Dez was always going to be on the outside, and he was always basically running the same pattern. And you can see sometimes where Dez was kind of like half-ass stepping. Probably in his mind he's thinking, here we are running the same lame-ass shit, and they're going to run Zeke. Okay, but be that as it may. At least now we've seen Allen Hurns on the outside, and we've seen him in the slot. We've seen him in the slot so far in practice, where we've had Cole Beasley and then Thompson on the outside. So we're seeing some different looks. Now, they're not going to show too much because, it's open practice. People are, you guarantee you got people that are looking at every single thing you're doing, even in these early practices. But the fact that they're moving them around, they're trying different combinations, just from the simple fact of us not having the same guys, same coaches, is going to put at least a little bit of unpredictability, I think, with the offense. And that makes me at least feel better.
And that's what I was saying. When I saw the fact that they put Cole Beasley and Tavon Austin on the outside,
right?
I was like, okay, are they trolling us, or is this something they're really going to do? Because if they're really going to start doing this and they're going to move these guys around and they have confidence that these guys could run these routes, because look at it, Allen Hurns can play both the X and he can be a slot receiver. Yeah. He can play both. He's a two-way player. So can Cole Beasley. Yeah. So you can move these guys around better than what you did with Dez, because Dez had a certain route tree that he ran, and that was it.
Yeah.
So you got these guys here that can do different things, and you still got Terrence Williams there to play cleanup.
Right. So
and what Terrence Williams is good at, and I've said this numerous times, the fact that he is one of the best wide receivers to block in the run and pass game. If you go back and look at these games and you see a lot of those catches that Cole Beasley had and he was running wild, a lot of that is off of Terrence Williams' blocks.
Yeah.
Coming off that outside. So, I mean, I know everybody's down on him. Yes, he makes knucklehead mistakes, but at the end of the day, you got to understand when Dez was here, he was like Terrence Williams. He knew his role. He knew that he was that guy. He was like the younger brother to the older brother. Now that Dez is not here, I feel like Terrence Williams has the chance to come in here and be like, okay, now I'm the senior guy. Now I'm one of the guys that's been here the longest. I can come in here and mesh with these new guys, and we can create a whole new regime of wide receiver corps.
Well, I think that it's definitely sometimes change is good just for the fact of making some changes. The other thing that I love a lot, and I've said this before, is I love the fact that people are fighting for playing time in a position on the team. To me, a guy that practices hard every day because he's trying to earn something versus a guy who, I'm going to be the starter, so, I really don't have to practice because I just have to show up on Sunday, drives me the heck crazy. You want guys that have something on the line every single day, and I'm liking what I'm seeing. Every one of these guys do.
All of these wide receivers are hungry right now. Every single one of them. Even Cole Beasley and Terry.
Well, you know what? I think everybody in this team is hungry. I love the fact that we were seeing guys on a daily basis that are basically they're trying to one up each other on their workouts and stuff. The fact that they are feeling like a family. Hopefully, there's no conflicts. We don't know about any, at least. That I think it's going to be good. You know, you never know how the ball's going to bounce on the field. But I feel with these young guys that are hungry, that are fast, that it's going to be a good base. I don't know if we can win it this year, but you know for the next couple of years, having that offensive line locked in, having a Zeke Elliott right now. Zeke looks faster than, I mean, he looks like greased lightning right now. Looking sleek. You see his mind is clear, at least in the clips and things you've seen it. You look at Dak Prescott, who's been doing a lot of work this offseason between having a quarterback coach and stuff, working with them in California and stuff. Thus far, he seems like his mechanics are better. At least that's what I've been hearing. I can't wait till next week to see it. His mechanics seem to be better, and he looks a little bit slimmer and trimmer. I think a lot of guys look a little slimmer and trimmer as well.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
We are. I'm loving what I'm seeing right now. I really am. Like, we have competition at every position. Every position right now. There is something to be excited about, to see every day. Now, Chaz Green getting beat by the weather, that's he better stop playing around before Cam Fleming or Marcus Martin takes his spot.
Well, Fleming was basically with Tyron Smith having the veteran day off today. You had Cam Fleming, at left tackle. If nothing else, I can breathe a sigh of relief knowing that, like basically it doesn't seem like there's been any doubt that Connor Williams was going to be the guard. Okay, have you heard him ever not being in the first team?
No, I told you the coaching staff said themselves, he is the starter and it's his job to lose.
Right.
And guess who's not going to lose it?
He's not going to lose it.
Because I ain't heard him struggle, throwing up, doing nothing crazy. He's ready to go to work.
Right, so that's great news. So if nothing else, we can have Tyron Smith out, and we've got a guy who was in the Super Bowl with Tom Brady, helping out. So I feel good. I don't want to say I feel really, really good about almost everything, but I feel really, really good.
Now, Fleming was on the right side in the Super Bowl, so let's just see if he can. I don't know if it's going to be a learning curve for him, because that left side is a little different, because that left side is the blind side.
And that's like going from corner to safety. That's what a lot of people are like, oh, tackle. No, everything is reversed. It's like it's like writing with your right hand and then writing with your left hand. It's totally different. So you're right. Yeah. It is some changes, but hopefully.
But that's what training camp is for.
That's right. So hopefully he can make that transition and stuff. Sean Lee, of course, was off today for the veterans, and of course they're trying to keep him in bubble wrap. But Jalen Smith has been practicing thus far without the brace, and he looks fast.
Yeah.
He looks real fast. So
first of all, I commend him for being such a mature individual to just get through this, because a lot of players, and you and me both can understand this. Now, you've torn up more things than I have, but playing football, getting injured, sometimes it eats at your psyche. You're like, can I do this anymore? It's all about trusting yourself. And he put himself out there, and he didn't know whether his body was going to let him down or not. And he bet on himself, and he won. And I'm telling you, everybody doubted him. Even people on this coaching staff doubted him. But he has he has overcome those things, and yes, he's still going to have a couple of issues, but I'm just happy and proud of him that he was able to come back and do that, because that's a big accomplishment in itself.
Okay, wait a minute. I'm missing something here with Kevin Milton. Somebody's saying he wrote down his number. Is that the same Kevin Milton who is saying he hopes Dak tears up his knee and so forth? Sorry, it's hard to keep up with the conversation there and keep up with all of the comments. Chaz Green was straight garbage last year. Well, tell us something we don't know.
Might not make the team.
Rico Gathers. I haven't heard anything about Rico in practice thus far.
What's his name?
Think about Rico, and real quick about Rico. Rico's biggest thing is not just the blocking. It's being able to read defenses. and that's going to be very difficult for him because you're not playing football since damn near pee-wees. So NFL level, you can't go from the little giants to the pros and expect your mindset to be ready to block off these guys that have been doing this their whole life consistently. You know what I mean? Because they know how offenses work. So you're not going to be able to outsmart them. So it's definitely going to take him time to learn how to read defenses and know who to block, when to block, and not draw any penalties for holding.
Shout out to Nicholas Clark. Jasmine at I'm sorry, I don't have my glasses on, so things are a little blurry. Jasmine at tight end. Heard Rico was struggling today. Well, it's still kind of early. A lot of guys are going to be struggling right now. I mean, a lot of people are thinking that guys are automatically going to get a step up. Right now, let's see if Rico can make the team, the 53 roster, and go from there. We all know, everybody thinks that Rico is supposed to be, the guy. Remember, until he got into training camp 2 years ago, he hadn't played football since the 8th grade.
Yeah.
He played basketball. Sometimes you get lucky and you get a guy who ends up stepping up and becoming a great football player, but that's few and far between. Let's see if we make the thing. He's going to have good days. He's going to have bad days, so it's a little early.
That's what I was saying.
Okay.
He definitely.
Meltdown said it. Yeah, it's way. Yeah, Keith Davis, you're right. It's way early. Rico will play well. Cowboy Crunk. Shout out to Cowboy Crunk, who got definitely got some real plug from Earl Thomas and all. Kevin Meltdown. Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Kevin Meltdown sent 2 letters back in autumn. You must not have got them. Probably was a problem with the post office or something. I don't know how he got my address. Kevin, you can email me at cowboysmark@gmail.com because I'm not sure what we're talking about here. Sorry, I'm trying to understand what it is. Kevin Meltdown. It's not Kevin Meltdown. That's not his name. It's Kevin Milton.
Melton.
Yeah. I see we got our usual trolls in here tonight. Of course, plenty of Eagle fans. I'm just wondering, let's say hypothetically, I know it's not going to happen, Eagle fans, that your team's going to go 16-0. But I'm just curious, if your team goes through a bad streak there, are you guys going to still be in here?
No, hell no.
Oh, okay. And I'm going to ask some of you guys, Glock and some of the other ones that completely just hate Dak Prescott. How about we try and do this, okay? We understand you don't believe Dak Prescott is the guy. We know Stephen Willie Beeman's going to keep talking about him, but he's an Eagle fan. How about we try this? How about we, from this point forward, say he's our quarterback, and let's hope that he does well and stop putting out all the negative energy, because that's where I'm at the point with Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett, I've never been a fan of it. Oh, God. What is I've got an old man butt, okay? So stop with the butt talk, okay? You don't want none of this. It's an old man butt. Damn. What is wrong with you dudes? My God. Now you're Fred Edwards. Every time, I get 4 or 5 different names up on here. So it's going to pop back in with, come on, man.
Yeah.
What's that got to do with football?
Every time.
Damn, Eric, shout out to you. Beer and Mark Holmes is my favorite hobby. I hope it's not like the same hobby as the other dudes over there. Good Lord. Don't say Dez is butthurt because that goes back to that other fool, man. Damn.
I'm so done.
Call the defensive line damn fools. So I get the whole spectrum here. I get Eagle fans that are in here talking trash. I don't know what that is. And I just get the whole. I understand now what Voss is talking about. He's like, every time I come in here, man, it's just crazy. Shout out to Sarah. How you doing tonight, man? Dak will always be my quarterback. But my point is how about this? If Dak sucks at the end of the year, by all means, trash the man. Trash him. Tell him, he's just awful. But how about from here on, we just stop it for now.
This is my whole thing.
Okay, I mean, he's our quarterback. We're not getting somebody else in there. He's our quarterback.
Look, everybody has their opinion. If you don't like Dak, you don't like Dak. But at least have facts around the reason why you don't like Dak.
Come on, man. You don't bring facts into an argument.
Okay, look, my whole thing is this. If you're a real Cowboy fan, you want whoever's the quarterback to succeed, correct?
Yeah.
So why would you not want to see him succeed if you're a real Cowboys fan? If you're not a fan, I completely understand. You're going to think whatever. But if you are a true fan of the Dallas Cowboys, why are you not in support of whoever is leading that team?
Oh, boy. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I got Cleveland Brown in here making jokes. Mark, did you turn around and use your butt to block the opposition when you were playing football?
Yeah, where did these guys come up with?
But that brings a flashback, though. I remember I played offensive guard, and we were down on the goal line, and our running back was Mike Colbert, who's actually head coach at Madison High School right now. And I remember being down there, and I turned around and I said, just follow my ass. And I just, boom, knocked the nose guard in. He followed my ass, boom, touchdown. So, yeah, actually, it wasn't my ass that did the block, but I told him, follow my ass. I didn't say, do anything with my ass. I said, just follow it, okay? Smart asses, man. Damn. Oh, God.
Ain't no point of even explaining that because you know it's going to go.
Right. So now we got the butt block jokes and everything else.
Right.
Now,
they're like, oh, Mark's blocking with his butt.
Now, if you guys don't know, E2 Blue, he's fairly new to YouTube and stuff. He started during one of the last games of the season, wasn't it?
I started March of this year.
I thought you started during the season. Oh, wow. Okay, just before okay, right. Well, just before the road trip, he was one of the guys with us on the road trip and stuff.
Right after the Super Bowl. My first video was right after the Super Bowl.
Okay, so yeah, so back in February. Okay, and so his channel's growing. Definitely check it out and everything else. He's going to be doing a whole bunch of stuff. He's going to be over here with us, doing the games and things like that. Do you have any crazy trolls on your channel?
A lot of your carryovers.
Oh. Okay. Sorry about that.
I'm not big enough to have my own trolls yet.
I actually miss kind of the simpler days before I had a lot of these. I mean, last year it would be like, oh, I got a troll. Oh, there's a troll.
It's like
now it's like I'm tripping over trolls everywhere.
Dude, your channel is like, I swear to God, it's like a virus. It's like the plague. Michael gets some of it. I get some of it. DMV gets some of it. Flips gets some. We all get a little bit of it.
Oh man.
We get your carryover trolls. That's what it is. Especially the butt guy. He done changed his name like 1,000,000 times.
I done blocked him. Because everybody's like, well, block him. It's like it doesn't matter.
He came to my channel one time.
Here's what it's like when you block a troll. Okay, it's like when you've got the lights on and the place is full of cockroaches and you spray some Raid. You might kill a couple of them that you see right here, but there's 1,000,000 more in the walls just waiting to come out as soon as the lights go out. And that's how it is.
Yep.
I keep blocking guys and stuff like that are just kind of out there. And I don't like to block people. I believe in freedom of speech, but when you start kind of infringing on the ladies and some of the younger people and just kind of say something, then I kind of block. But they just come back around as something new.
Yeah.
It's okay because you know what? Our Dallas Cowboys are going to come out and they're going to play well. And a lot of them are going to be eating their words.
I'll be honest with you. I think I got a good feeling about this year. I think we're going to have a decent year.
I think because
we're unknown. We're unknown right now.
Yeah, the pressure's not nobody's picking us to do anything. Nobody is, or it might be. It might be that they're actually just trolling us because they know every time they say something negative about us, all us Cowboy fans go in there and say, what? Can you believe? Because everybody is always going, can you believe what such and such said? It's like, yeah, okay. They got the reaction that they wanted. They got the clicks. It's not based on any facts. It's just a matter of the same thing we're doing. It's speculation until you actually get out there. Right. Yeah, stirring it up, as Jerry Jones would say. So all that stuff is just hearsay, whatever. But now at least we can talk about it. Shout out to Law Nation. He's checking in on us. The Eagle fans believe that they're going to be 16-0. And I'm trying to go through and get some of these comments before we end up the show tonight. 14-2, a new franchise record. Okay. Right now, I'm hoping for playoffs, and anything above that will be a bonus to me. But if for no other reason, here's my thing. Why the Cowboys will end up doing well. Jason Garrett is a cat. He's got 9 lives. And every time you think that this is it, he's going to get fired, the Cowboys do well, and his job is saved.
And I just said that yesterday in my video. I was like, what are we going to do, Cowboy fans? If you're a person that hates Jason Garrett and you want to see him gone, are you going to be that fan that says, hey, let's just go ahead and scrap this year, be 4-12, and get a new coach? Or are you going to be supportive of us being a winning franchise and somehow making it to the playoffs, and Jason Garrett is still the coach?
Oh, Jackie, look, as long as you show up to the party, it's a party. It don't matter when you get here. All right?
Hey.
The party didn't start till Miss Jackie got here.
I'm telling you.
I had another thought for you on it. Noah Brown didn't practice today because he's got a tight hamstring. And that's our first hamstring issue thus far. Hopefully he doesn't tear it.
Let's not start that crap again. Everybody get out there and stretch and stop acting silly. Drink water, drink Gatorade, stretch, because those soft tissue injuries are nagging and they never really go away.
Oh, Lordy. You Eagle fans. Jeez. Do you guys not have, you guys don't have anything else to do on Friday nights? You don't have any Eagle? If you were smart, with all of the Eagle fans that are here, you should start a channel, because I guarantee you can get Eagle fans, because they must not.
There's 60,000 Eagle fans on the Eagle fan YouTube page.
I'm just understanding. It seems like that would be a wide open market. It's crowded here in the Cowboy field because we got tons and tons of YouTubers. There can't be that many YouTubers because y'all are all on here, don't you think?
Yeah. Well, I'll be honest with you. If they did, like you said, if they did have a channel, they would definitely be. It's enough of them. There's a lot of them that live in our area too.
You're right about that. Well, you know what? Here's the funny thing. I didn't realize there were so many Eagle fans in the Washington, D.C. area before. Did you?
Yeah, I did. Even when they were losing, I knew.
I'm seeing a whole lot more than I used to, man.
Because they kept talking crap about the Cowboys. That's all they do.
I'm telling you, I'm seeing more stuff on cars and things. Maybe I'm just seeing it because they're all constantly on my panel, but I keep seeing more and more stuff.
The Super Bowl. It's that bandwagon effect right now. But let's see if those same guys are there if they start losing.
All right, this is gonna be the last topic for you for tonight. What do you think about the Earl Thomas situation?
Well, Seattle is very stubborn right now. For whatever reason, you got a guy on your team that clearly doesn't want to be there. You clearly are not going to sign him to a long-term contract. What exactly are you hoping for? He's technically going to be a free agent next year if you don't re-sign him. So you're going to lose him regardless. So you might as well wheel and deal him while you can and get something. Even if you get a late round pick, or even if you get a complimentary player, like how when we gave up Ryan Switzer. We can give up somebody like that, or we can give up something like that.
Yeah. You would think, because clearly he has been everywhere but Seattle. You don't see him talking about anything Seattle-wise. He has been working out with their safety, the guy who will probably replace him.
A player really doesn't want to be there if he's willing to take that much of a pay cut and get fined every single day to not be there. If a player is that adamant, he really don't want to be there because these players ain't trying to give away no money.
Fella Harris is from Louisiana and is a Cowboy fan, been one all his life, and chances you give our Cowboys against the Saints. We're going to be at home. Thank God we're not playing in New Orleans because I've been in New Orleans when we played. Oh, my God. Woo.
The food saves us on that trip.
Yeah, the food. That's the one good thing about New Orleans is the food is the bomb because at least we ate good. But
Mercedes-Benz Dome is known for getting players injured for some reason. I don't know what it is.
Sean Lee, I remember
Sean Lee got hurt that game.
Lance Dunbar.
Yeah, that was just a brutal game. But with them being in Dallas, Dallas has actually been pretty good against New Orleans more times than not. I actually give the Cowboys a pretty good chance on that one. Nicholas Clark, Earl Thomas to D Block. Okay. All right. Thank you for the super chat on that. D Will is hiring Will McClay. I got this. Okay. Thank you, Raymond. I appreciate the shout out. Oh, I love that. It's like a phone call. One ring, just don't cut it. It takes a few rings to answer the call. I love that. Oh, man. Trade him to a bad team and get a high draft pick. Okay. Earl come home. Well, but here's the thing. See, Earl, he has a little bit of power, and he can kind of control things to a point too. Because a team is not going to trade. Okay, let's say you're the Jets and you want him. They can trade him to him, but he also has to be willing to go ahead and take another contract, or else you're basically getting him just for that season. You follow what I'm saying? So that's where the team is going to gauge whether or not they're going to be able to sign him. So he does kind of have a little bit of control in there. Maybe not, but then again, Seattle sounds like they're just pissed off and having vengeance. And it may be, because this is what I said right here, when it happened. You remember when he went into the locker room?
Yeah.
If you're Seattle, you got to turn your head and say, what the fuck?
Why would you do that?
What are you doing? They were still in the playoff hunt. And
Right.
you're going in the locker room? So it could be, yeah, we want to get something for him, but we're not trying to appease him.
Right. And I think that's what it is. They don't want him to have his way.
Yeah. Because now you've made the blood definitely bad. So it's like, well, we've got his rights. Sooner or later, we're going to get something for him. Why should we make it easy so he can be there for full training camp?
I just,
That makes sense.
I'm just so tired of the back and forth. And when you look at the Cowboys, the coaching staff claims that they haven't really been talking about it since the draft, which I think is a smokescreen in itself. But
well,
because they clearly put an offer out.
Yeah. Well, Malik, still talking about Earl Thomas ain't played in a full season in 5 years. Yeah. Well, you know what? Even last year, where he played 14 games and had 88 tackles and 2 interceptions and was an All-Pro, I take that. Because what have we gotten out of our safeties since forever?
I think Jeff Heath got the best stats. He's got the most interceptions.
Yeah, he got 3. Yeah.
But
Jeff Heath's the best thing with Jeff Heath is in the right positions. I don't think he's a regular starter. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I'm just not. I'm not on the Jeff Heath bandwagon.
He's a 15 to 20, 25 snap a game player. That's it.
Yeah.
You keep him in a role like how they did when J.J. Wilcox was on the team.
Right. Yeah.
You put him in that box and he will succeed. Because he's good. When you limit his snaps, he's very good. But he's definitely not a starter full time.
Eric Olson says, how much guaranteed money would you give Earl Thomas? Because the way he spelled it, he spelled it Thomas, and it's I was like Thomas. Okay, that's the question. The draft picks are not important. Well, look how much we paid Brandon Carr. We paid him $55 million. Look what we paid Greg Hardy for one season. What was it, $10 million? And he only played for 10 games. So you could I could see $18 to $20 million guaranteed, because you're not keeping him for that many years. And you can, because here's the reality.
They'll probably do like a 3-year contract.
Yeah, it'll be like a 3-year contract. You put some incentives in there and stuff. And I personally believe that he wants to, okay. Generally speaking, football players look at it as a business. I'm an independent contractor. I have no allegiance to anybody other than to money.
I get a 1099, and that's it.
I get a 1099. Okay. because they don't really give a damn about me. They will cut me in a heartbeat. If I get injured and can't play, bye-bye.
That's it.
So that's where players' allegiance is to getting paid as much as I can while I am here. For Earl Thomas, I think it's a lot more when you have this, because it would be pay me or trade me. But
And I don't think
everything
he'll
is
break the bank
Dallas. He's desperate to be here in Dallas. I think he would look at it and say, look, I'll sign with the Cowboys. What do I need to do so we can get a ring? So I can stick it in the face of Seattle. I don't think he's going to be there looking just to break the bank. He wants to come home. He wants to play for the Cowboys. He's always been a Cowboy fan. I'm not saying, and Earl, if you want to come through and clarify and talk, Earl Thomas, anytime on the Joe Boo Sports Report. I don't know that there's anybody who's been working harder to try and get you here. I'd love to have you on the show. But I don't think that he would be looking to necessarily bust the bank.
No. Because, like you said, he wants to be here. He's already stated, basically, he wants to come home.
Right.
And,
So we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. I don't think that anything's going to happen very
what
quickly.
would give him more?
Oh, you froze up on me.
I'm here.
Okay. You were saying?
I was saying, you look at Richard Sherman, and you look at basically what he was doing. He actually could have got more money going somewhere else, but he picked the first place just because it was still in the division. He wanted to stick it to his old team.
I appreciate that, Cody. Telling Earl many, many times to follow me on YouTube. For all we know, he might be have a burner account, and maybe he's like booty hole guy. For all we know, okay.
Oh God.
No, I doubt that they have a straight up one on here. I'm delusional. I may be, but here's the thing. It's football. Football is so unpredictable. A lot of times people think that this is the only way, the right way, this team's got it, and they end up being dog doo like last year, like the New York Giants.
Yeah.
You never know. I was told I was an idiot last year when I said Calais Campbell would make that defense that much better. And if we'd had Calais Campbell last year on that defense, oh my God. I feel the same way about putting Earl Thomas on that defense. It gives you depth. It gives you a leader. It gives you a guy who knows the system. It gives you a guy who can go ahead and show, I got a ring.
And him and Earl Thomas being here again with Chris Richard, and I feel like he'd be a good support system for Xavier Woods and Jordan Lewis and those guys, those young guys, and helping them step up to get better at their craft.
Right. Yeah. Well, with that being said, I'm going to give you the last words tonight. Tell everybody where to find you.
If you guys don't know already, if you don't already subscribe, it's E2BLU Entertainment.
All right, guys. I appreciate our first live stream of the new 2018 season. I appreciate everybody coming into the channel and stuff tonight. We're going to be doing all kinds of stuff. We have one more live stream before we head out to California. We will be at training camp on Thursday's practice and spending the night, and we'll be live streaming from Oxnard. I can't wait to see my Dallas Cowboys, but I've got to get off of here because I got a lot of work between now and Wednesday to get done, so I've got to leave early in the morning and get to work. Shout out to everybody who came in, and shout out to everybody that ended up doing a super chat. We'll take the money and stuff. We'll put it back into the channel here and get this thing really rocking and rolling. So as always, friends, keep spreading the mojo, and I will see you guys soon.